Welcome to the wonderful world of Rich Blye podcast here on cmpradio.net, the voice of Chester. Hold on a second while we take care of some technicals over here. I need that screen over here, brother, real quick. I got one. Hold on a second, folks. I'm sorry for the delay. It's been a trying 2 weeks. There we go. It's been a trying 2 weeks with helping folks with school concerns and helping the kids in the first 2 weeks back to school. Before we get started, let me start off with thanking the Most High for this glorious day and this glorious time that we live in this world that we live in that is full of love and hope and the desires of the passions of each and every one of us. We thank you for the protections that you have given us and for the love and for the hope that we all have instilled in one another. Keep us together in your love and safety. Keep those who have lost loved ones far and in between us in the comfort of your arms, O Lord of hosts. And we thank you for these things. Amen. I know that my title on my page about the sexual infiltration in parentheses is going to draw some comments. It's going to draw some debate. It's going to draw the ire of some people, but that's what it is. Welcome to the free speech world in the wonderful world of Rich Blye, where we are supposed to have these types of conversations, not conversations of bashing, not conversations of pointing fingers, not conversations of blame, but conversations of genuine concern that are not just my concerns, but have been the overall concerns of a lot of different people since we live in this world that's ever changing with the social identity of who we are as human beings. And I think that everyone would agree, we all don't have, excuse my pun on this word, any real straight answers. I think all of us are being led a certain way. I think certain things are agendicized, which we'll get into. I think that statistically speaking, we're allowing certain behaviors and patterns to happen inside of our community that we were not raised with. And I really think that it goes to our genealogy. And I really think it really harms the overall identity of the foundational Black family. And I'm going to break this down, first of all, before I give my insightful, observant opinion. I'm going to break it down statistically first, because I don't want people to come to this station, cmpradio.net, the voice of Chester, and think that we're having a program or segment on this program that's going to bash either or side. This is not what this conversation is about. And if you thought it was going to be a hateful conversation, I'm here to let you know, tune in. You might be educated about some things, okay? First of all, let me start off and say that I am a father of a openly gay married man. Anybody want to fight me about that? If anybody wants to fight me about that, you know where to find me. I'm always every other Wednesday, at 100 Garrett Road, second floor, 7 p.m. I'm always there. And you can discuss what I said. You can discuss what I did. But I'm speaking from a perspective of a man who had to be in the life of his son, who is openly gay and married and living his life. Now, with that being said, if you thought, again, that this was about to be about some hate, it is not. Because most of the conversations that I have about the LGBTQ community, I have with my son. Because I have questions. Because like any father, I'm straight, of course, but I have to live and deal in a world that is not. And this is the reality of it. And I have to deal with children who come from same-sex marriages or same-sex households or however, for all you folks, remember, I'm straight. So I'm not going to get all your acronyms right. So you know what I'm talking about. You roll with it. This is the part that what I'm talking about is that you don't get all bent out of shape. It's because I don't say it right, because half of you can't even say my last name right. And I don't get bent out of shape when you mispronounce that. So if I don't pronounce the acronyms right, understand something that comes from a place of trying to understand genuinely. Okay? Getting back to my conversations that I have with my son. I've asked my son several questions. First of all, how is it for you being gay and a black man? How are you treated? Are you treated on the same level as your gay white counterparts? And to his, to my surprise, the answer was no. So when I listen to that, and this is just, like I said, one person's experience, this is not a total judgment or blanket statement on the whole LGBTQ community, but this is just one example. This is just one example of the many times in this life of mine that I've had to deal with the LGBTQ community in several different facets of my business and or personal life. So when I have a question, I don't go to straight people for it. When I have a question, I don't go to a pastor for it. When I have a question about the LGBTQ community, I go to those who are from that community, as I expect people from that community that wants to talk about a straight foundational black American, that you should hit me up. And I can tell you exactly from my experiences how that is. But here's part of the problem. We aren't having those conversations. We aren't. We aren't having those conversations, but you're begging people to understand you from a perspective. First of all, and I want to start off with the top layer of this sandwich, is that you can't be in denial of your creator. And when I say your creator, I don't mean the creator. I mean your creator. Unless you were gestated, unless you were intravenously put into a tube and you incubated for a little bit and was switched around and then placed inside of, a living human being to be born, all of us are human. What I'm trying to understand, and what people who are my age are trying to understand, where are these Miss, Cis, and all these other labels coming from when we are your creators? Plain and simple. Because here's the deal. Everybody has the gift naturally of procreation. Procreate. That means that somebody got started and then somebody else finished it. And it kept going and kept going. And that's how you got here. Okay? So that science works. It's always worked. It's never failed. That's why we have hospitals. That's why we have baby deliveries. That's why we have obstetricians. Okay? So there's no dispute there. But I want to understand, how is it that you come from someone who loved you enough not only to give you a name, but for the first 5 years of your life, made sure that you were well taken care of? And I mean well, to the best of their ability that you can remember. Now, I know there are horror stories. I know that there are people that have been in foster care and, certain things have become in their lives because of who they are. Those situations are those unique situations that are not in a similar setting of a regular household. And we can discuss those things about foster care, and we can discuss those things about adoption, about being adopted into a same-sex family, or going through the foster care process, because that does happen. folks. So a lot of times. But what I mainly want to touch on are those parents that had children prior to coming out of the closet and now are mislabeling the people that you created. Now, I understand you're grown. I understand that you do have a responsibility to self. I do. But I want to ask, what is really the impact of the sexuality dynamic that changes inside of a LGBTQ home when a child has probably been used to being around, say, his father or her father or their mother? And then for whatever reason, again, I'm not here to judge. I'm just, putting this out here based upon observations. Does anybody really consider the mental health impact on the children? Or is just, hey, you just got to accept this. This is who I am. And, you're just going to roll with it. Because I can tell you that some of the unique behaviors that a lot of these teachers and psychologists and psychiatrists experience is where they've talked about the change of dynamic of their family structure and the introduction of, same sex in the home. Now, I know that there are a lot of people that have family structures that have always been same sex. I'm not here, again, here I am, not bashing it. I'm talking about it because I want to give you and read you this UCLA School of Law, Williams Institute. This was put out in July 17th of 2024. And here's some statistics I want to run through as I talk about this situation of what I call sexual infiltration, okay, in quotes. I'm not saying this in a mean, malicious way, but we have to bring some facts forward that's happening in the foundational Black family unit when it comes to our relationships with the LGBTQ community. Okay, more than 2.5 million LGBTQ adults are parenting children under the age of 18. This is according to statistics in 2024. A new study by the Williams Institute at UCLA Law finds that 18% of LGBTQ people, roughly 2.57 million adults, are parenting children under the age of 18 in their households. The study finds that about 14% of the same-sex couples, 167,000 roughly, and almost 1 in 5 married same-sex couples, 18%, or 119,000 couples, are parenting minors in their home. Among parents, same-sex couples adopt at 21%, foster parents at 4%, and have stepchildren 17%, at a significantly higher rates than different sex couples. Adoption, 3%. Foster, 0.4%. Stepchildren, 6%. Approximately 35,000 same-sex couples parenting minors have adopted, and 6,000 are fostering children. Notably, 24% of married same-sex couples have adopted adopted a child compared to 3% of married different sex couples. That's a lot of blended families, bro. That's a lot of blend. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's a lot of blend. Yeah, there's a lot of blend. Hold on.
I'm listening.
But this report uses multiple data sources, to provide parenting rates and psychodynamic characteristics of LGBTQ parents in the United States. The current report focused specifically on the LGBTQ people who are parents of children under the age of 18 living in their homes. Results show that approximately 5 million children are being raised by an LGBTQ parent, including 2 million who live in an LGBTQ parent household, and nearly 300,000 who are being raised by parents in the same-sex couples. About 30% of the LGBTQ parents are not legally recognized. Fathers are not legally recognized. And because they're not legally recognized, hold on, fathers, we're going to talk about that as far as your legal status. So about 30% of the LGBTQ parents are not legally recognized or are unsure about their legal status as parent and guardian of at least one child. LGBTQ parents are more likely to be living in poverty at 33%, compared to LGBTQ non-parents at 21%, and straight parents at 21%. Isn't that a little bit significant that we're talking about a group of individuals who see or identify themselves through a more physical description rather than nationality, rather than ethnicity, that they're still living in the same type of poor environments as if they still identify from a nationality and or a social standpoint? Let's start that again. LGBTQ parents are more likely to be living in poverty, 33%, compared to LGBTQ non-parents at 21%, and straight parents, 21%. For most groups, married people are less likely to live in poverty. How many years have we been saying this? Now hold on. This is an LGBTQ study. This is not a study for straight people. I didn't do this to pick on anything. I'm trying to find out the correlation of why we separate ourselves away from the group of the people who created you. That's what I really want to know. I want to know why that you take like I said, this is my show, this is my segment, and this is how I'm going to say it. Why are you taking the sides of others when we love you and you don't come from them? You come from us. You can't say to me, I'm gay and black. You should be saying to me, I'm black and gay. What?
Listen.
What, bro? Listen. I'm really not trying to hear it.
I'm not trying to hear it.
I'm not. I'm really not trying to hear it, because again, when I have to talk to people on the street, and they, people like to tend to get loud in Upper Darby for some reason when they think that they want to bully somebody, and I make this general statement, and I say it loud enough. We all live in row homes. How you think you better than anybody else? We all live in row homes. Like, you can't be thinking that you better than your neighbor when you live in a row home. That's not making it. I don't care what you got on the inside. I don't care what designer stuff you got on the inside. You're still in a row home. But you want to set yourself up as being not part of a certain distinction with a group of people when these same people are the same people that created you. But we're all living in poverty. See, I want to talk about this because the money part does matter. So for most groups, married people are less likely to live in poly. While marriage tends to be associated with lower poverty rates for most groups, this was not the case for Black or Hispanic LGBTQ parents who are partnered or in same-sex couples. So basically, those who don't lose their sense of identity as part of their sexuality have firmly held on to the promise and the blessings by understanding that it's culture first. It's culture first. And I'm going to say this. Anybody had that argument with me? Like I said, I'm next Wednesday, 100 Garrett Road, second floor. I'll be there like I am every other Wednesday rather. I'll be up there. Got to have a meeting first, with elected officials. And then after that, I'll take anybody that wants to have any questions or have a civil conversation about what I'm talking about. Because we are on the losing end, my guy, my ladies, my gents. We're on the losing side. Fast. A significant proportion of LGBTQ adults are parents. Despite positive cultural shifts impacting family structure, LGBTQ parents remain a vulnerable group concerning economic stability, parental rights, and access to pathways to parenting, said lead author Bianca D.M. Wilson, former senior scholar for public safety at the Williams Institute and associate professor at the UCLA's Luskin School of Public Affairs. Policies that aim to improve the lives of LGBT communities should focus on issues that LGBTQ parents face, including barriers to accessing alternative reproductive technologies and adoption services, as well as LGBTQ parental recognition rights, particularly for non-biological parents in same-sex couples. Fathers. I'm talking to foundational Black American fathers. It is your job to ensure that no matter what, that your child follows in the way that he or she should go according to the word of the Most High. You have that right by law to ensure that if changes like that are made and that there is a sexual infiltration that diminishes your rights, you legally respond to it and ensure your right in the state of Pennsylvania. You do not relinquish your right. You do not change your position. That is parenting. No one, including the state, including the governor, including the president, including the mayor, including council, has the right to tell you how you are supposed to set the standard of being a man in your child's life, because the Pennsylvania Constitution protects that right for you. Anybody want to try me on it? See, I have to speak like a heterosexual Black male, because when I see stuff like this is the part where I say that the sexual infiltration of the Black family comes in, because people will use the sexual dynamic of a relationship to take the rights away of a father, thus taking away your historical inheritance that is coming in America. It's coming, Black men. See, what they don't understand over on this side, or what you don't want you to know, is that the more and more that you get away from your bloodline, the more you get away from your ancestry. The more you get away from your ancestry, the less claim you have to this land. Because now you are self-diluting. Want to challenge me on that?
No, I don't want to challenge.
Dude, I wish they would.
No, I don't think no one's really.
No, bro.
challenge you.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Because you know why they challenging that?
Right. Go ahead.
Because what they're putting in, and I talked about this briefly last week, about the new ordinance that they want to invoke and everything like that, and give more rights towards the LGBTQ community, including transgenders.
Right.
Okay. Now, as I stated before, whenever they invoke a rule, change, ordinance, law, anything like that, somebody somewhere is getting a kickback. Somebody somewhere is benefiting off of this. Okay. Somebody somewhere is going to benefit from this. Okay. And so this law is not unilateral protection of an entire community. It is inserting sexuality as the basis of protection when this has already been dealt with. But that's not it. It's the driving force behind it. This person that's the driving force behind it is very, very proud of the fact that he is writing this ordinance, which I call a very sexually based ordinance, because it's based upon gender and gender identity. This person from Upper Darby to the county is ensuring the future for himself and his group of people. And that don't include you, and that don't include me. Now, he can say all the bullshit he want, but like I said from the very beginning, there are people that I sat with from the very beginning. And I sat with this bull just like I sat down with State Rep Carol Kazee. Okay? I sat down with Delco Resist. Corey Long, you know, you've been to my post. You know, listen, I'm not name dropping to, put you out there, but I want people to understand that when I'm talking about somebody, I'm talking about them. Okay? So we have a person that's running in Upper Darby, and he is LGBTQ 1000%. He has also been in charge of the whole Black Lives Matter movement. He has also been charged with, the whole economic force of the social change as it comes to the youth and the way that they see themselves. Now, I'm not saying that he's not a positive person. He absolutely is. I don't have any animosity towards him whatsoever. I don't. I don't. I know he's not afraid of me.
Right.
And I'm not afraid of him.
Right.
But I know that he lied to me. And I know he's lied to a lot of people, including veterans. And the way that he's went about this is so smug and so arrogant that I guess gotta, excuse the pun on words, flame his ass. Okay? Because this is what this is leading up to. The infiltration. We're still going to be poor when this bull going to get rich.
Now, how does he get rich off of it?
Okay. He has so many, and he has. You'll go to his page, right? When you go to his page, he's got this whole list of things that he's done. When I say get rich, right, I don't mean that he's going to get rich, but his organization is going to benefit. He's going to get hit to the front of the line for the grants, and he's going to be moved faster than we can, bro.
Right.
Okay, and it's not because he's gay; it's because he's a white man.
Right.
He's a white man. This is what I want people to understand. I don't have a problem with the LGBT community. You heard what I said, the first three letters. I don't have a problem with the LGBT community.
It's a TIA.
I don't. I don't. I firmly believe. And listen, I've actually been on a page, and I'm gonna tell this story too of an interaction that I had with a couple, same sex couple. But I've been on this page, and it's full of lesbians, bisexual people and gay people, queer people
Right.
that ain't with none of that other letter stuff.
Right.
Like, people think that they all align. No, they ain't.
No, they're not.
Because they know that when they let those other letters in,
Right.
they want to let that Mambler thing in too.
Like what?
Nambler, the group of men that like children.
Oh yeah, I've been hearing about that for a while.
Listen, bro, they exist. And they want to be, they want to align themselves with that. So here's the thing. If you identify as, if you gender identify as, if you identify as someone who has a feelings or affection with a child, and there's lawful protections inside of that, who are we as black people to protect our family when every day they come at us with this sexuality and say, you must comply, you must comply, you must comply. Case in point, homeschooling.
Yeah.
Homeschooling was specifically set up and designed for parents who have children with special needs that can't get to the school,
Right.
children who might have behavioral problems that can't go to the school,
Right.
and or parents with different social or religious beliefs, as long as they meet the curriculum of study for graduation credits without the influence of state
Right.
or religious. Right? Everybody was happy with it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not the LGBTQ community.
Why not?
Because now, in order for you, in some states, for you to homeschool your kid, you got to accept that as part of the curriculum. Or your child will not graduate.
Part of what curriculum?
The
What do we
homeschool curriculum.
gotta have to accept what?
You have to accept what they're putting in about gender and gender identity.
So identity is formed when you're born,
Okay.
man or female.
Uh-huh.
That's the only two that I know that you can be born.
Uh-huh.
Right. That's with every species on this. I've never met.
Male trees, female trees.
Right. So
Cows and bulls.
So why don't we just leave it there, right? And then
But we can't. We got hold on. We can't. We have legislation by hold on, like I said, take the gay off.
Right.
By white men.
Right.
By white men.
Right.
This is still a white man.
Right.
Okay, now this ain't no racist stuff.
No.
This is history repeating itself once again in the form of a young man that has shown me that he went from, I'm never going to run for any office. I have no inclinations for running for an office. I just want to help the people. You sure about that?
Well, that could be how we felt
Bro,
at that time.
No, hold on. No. That bro, from the day that he met me, I knew he was lying. The day that I sat him down in the restaurant Vita in Havertown and had dinner with him, poured the wine, relaxed, real relaxed setting.
Right.
It was a meeting of the minds of everybody that was pushing the social injustice movement at the time. I had everybody at the table, bro.
Right.
Okay? Me and my brother, Brian Sharif Taylor, wanted to understand. We were the first group of people of straight black, foundation black American men when they brought the issue up of no one's paying attention to the LGBT community and the concerns that we had, blah, blah, blah. Right. We were the first people when this was announced during Tom McCosey's administration. We approached that community. Right. We asked for a meeting. Right. We told them, you're from us. What are you talking about? Right. You know what I mean? We don't understand. They're politicians. You know what I mean? Like,
we ain't worried about that.
We ain't worried about that.
Right.
But you live among us. You eat with us. We patronize each other. Let's sit down and converse and find out what's going on.
Absolutely.
So at the 5 Points Coffee Shop, this was like, I'm going to say 2017, 2018. I met with a contingent. I had my guys with me. We went upstairs and we did comparisons. We did notes. We talked just like this. So I want people out there in that community to understand something. I speak plainly, not, I'm not being rude. I speak from a very caring, concerned place to understand, but I'm also going to give my opinion based upon my observations and based upon my own experience because they matter. Right. After talking with this group, one guy is actually on the school board of Darby now, and to this day I still respect him, because, I'm gonna say this: he's part of the LGBTQ community as well. and it's a known fact. Like, you know, he's very, very proud of it. But that man has never lied to me about anything when I've asked him a question. And that's what I respect about him. Not that he has his way of dealing with things. He doesn't leave anybody out when he makes a decision. Right. But he is also an advocate for his community. But there's a balance. And I can respect that. He's not that far leaning where
the only thing he's worried about is gay rights, right? He's worried about his community.
No. In this case, he's very well rounded. He's worried about the whole entire community.
Absolutely.
But he is an advocate for his community. And I don't have a problem with people advocating for their community, but not legislating us to death. That's where it becomes a problem. Okay? Because before any of these kids were born, we coexisted with the gay community.
Easy.
We really did. I don't know where it got messed up for y'all.
For who?
For the younger generation.
Where it got messed up?
Yeah, somewhere went wrong. Somewhere went wrong. Because I'm gonna give you the story, right? So I worked in South Philly for this beer distributor at 19th and Christian, and I had to deliver 40s cases of 40s. Tall boys, blah blah blah. I had a route. And it took me to the house of this guy named Bruce, who was married to another guy named Tommy. And I still remember their order to this day. It was a case of 16-ounce Old English and Cokie 940s. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it changed to Coke 45, sometimes Cokie 900. Mm-hmm. I made this delivery the first time. And the person answered the door, Tommy. So Tommy's basically the wife. Mm-hmm. Came out, had on, like a little boa gown, blah, 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 the hair done up, blah, 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 you know what I mean? Like, but,
it's what you choose to do in your house.
Listen, no big deal. Like, hey, can you put that right there?
Right.
I was like, all right.
No problem.
No problem. Boom. But they tipped me well.
Right.
Man.
Do they?
Yeah. Yo, listen. Shout out to Bruce and Tommy.
Right.
I mean, like, seriously, like, and so I mean, like, it wasn't just that they became like my best customers on the route.
Right.
One day I had to deliver several cases of beer to them, which was unusual. Right. I mean, like a lot.
Right.
So I get up there, and of course it's Tommy.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, Tommy, you got all this beer. What's going on? And, it's like, I'm out to have a party tonight. I was like, oh, really? Okay. So I was like, all right, listen, let me take this up. Because they actually lived up on the second floor. Right. I was like, let me take, you ain't got it. I said, no, you know what I mean? Come on now. You know what I mean? By this time, I'm comfortable enough
around
them to do a job. Right. To do a job. Right. It's still, everything's still on the dynamic. I'm doing my job.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Get up there. And I want to say this. Man. They had their house funked out. Little bar set up, everything. This is before track lights, baby. I'm telling you, they had the whole Christmas light thing like together, blah blah blah. I'm talking about before you did the do-it-yourselfers and everything's connected together. No, Tommy hooked this joint up. I was like, damn. So then Tommy said, "You want to come over?" So I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
So
we be having straight men and women here.
You're going to be fine. Right. You're going to be fine.
I don't want y'all to take me there. Right.
Yo, hold on. So as I was walking out,
right.
saw his husband, Bruce.
Right.
Bruce was like, yeah, Rich, you coming? I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, so now I'm kind of feeling kind of intimidated because, because it's Bruce.
Right.
And like, he's a man. Mm-hmm. So, I'm talking to him. I'm like, yo, man, I don't know. He said, man, just come on. So with that, got off my shift, went home. I came back for the party.
Mm-hmm.
When I got in the party, like, it was already packed. Tommy stopped and made an announcement and said, straight up, this is Rich. He's the guy that delivered all the beer, Rich is straight, okay? I don't want to see nobody in here messing with him, okay? And turned the music back on.
Right.
I danced that night.
Right.
I danced with women.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know if they were gay, but I danced with women.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
I danced with women. I didn't get hit on.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? If people looked or whatever, I wasn't paying attention because I really did have a
nice
good time. I know I had a good time.
Crazy.
Listen, I had such a good time that I slept on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
And no, this is no BS.
Right.
I slept on the couch.
Right.
Because, you know, I was tossed, blah, blah, blah.
Right,
and like, I lived the furthest because at the time I lived all the way up in Logan and they didn't want me to travel.
Right.
So it's like, man, just sleep on the couch.
On the couch, nigga.
Woke up the next morning and like Charlie Murphy and Prince had breakfast.
Right.
I'm like sitting at the table with two of the gayest people I've ever met in my life having breakfast. But it seemed normal.
Why wouldn't it be? Because it's just sex.
It was my first experience of understanding that the sexuality don't matter.
Don't matter, bro.
And they taught me that.
It really does.
And they taught me that. And they taught me that there are boundaries. They taught me that by them establishing that. They taught me that there are protections from that community.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
That they understand that, hey, they don't want you to feel uncomfortable.
Right.
They don't want you to be non-knowledgeable. They don't want you to be ignorant. They don't want you to be that way. But see, here's what I don't like the community today is because they are not inclusive. They are exactly the opposite of what they say they are. Not on the Cut Up Show.
Right.
No, not on the Cut Up Show.
Right,
hold on, let me get the Cut Up Show right. Because you know, I share the Cut Up Show.
Right.
But I'm talking about the ones I'm dealing with.
Right. Well, that's because they're running they're running with protection to protection, right? They think they have to protect themselves. So when they LGBTQIA, when you added all the extra letters, right? The last three, the T and the I and the A, right?
Right.
You know, people that were interested but not really interested, people that were queer but weren't really gay. You understand what I'm saying?
A child gonna be interested at something at the age of 5, bro. That does not make them part of a sexuality spectrum.
Absolutely.
That is just curiosity.
Absolutely.
Okay? Because a child has an imagination, okay? A child has certain proclivities. A child is experimental, okay? These things happen naturally once they have a development of themselves. But
everybody doesn't belong somewhere. So when I was coming up, I was raised, you know, majority by women after my father passed away. So I wanted to be outside the street. I wanted to have other men around me, right? To show me what to do, how to be a man. How am I supposed to be a man? How am I supposed to interact with women?
Right.
I can't learn how to interact with women through women. You feel me? Like, cause then I'm gonna interact with men. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happens, right? So for me, it was all about going and being around the men. Now, I learned how to be a man, but not the right type of man. Right? Not the man that holds his family dear, just playing games. But my cousin was behind me. He wasn't trying to run outside. So I was always trying to beat him up and do things like that. And I think that he developed a love for me later on, right? But he was very angry with me. And he's, you know, homosexual.
right.
You feel me? But I love him. You feel me? That's my cuz.
Right.
Leave him the hell alone.
Did he think that the reason why you beat him up was to try to make him change from?
No, just to defend it. It was never about changing. Like, you are you. Because I can't change you. Whatever you want to, you decide what team you want to play for. I just want you to be able to protect yourself. Right. I just want you to be able to throw a hook. You feel me? Like, that's it. Like, what you choose, who you choose to love, who you choose to be with, that's all personal. Me personally, I understand, like, God, religion, that's a personal journey. Who you choose to love, that's a personal journey. But we have a bigger thing that we're supposed to be fighting, and there's one thing that we can't change. See, you can change your religion. You can change who you want to sleep with. You can change what you like. But this skin color right here, bro, you can't change that.
Can't change it.
So I don't never want nobody to think what I choose outweighs my skin color, and my people are struggling. So I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're Muslim, if you're Christian, if you're Buddhist. I don't care. You need to be speaking for your people. You need to be helping your people get to a point of salvation and help, bro. But we don't do that. We want to be in our group.
Well,
because our group gives us protection.
Well, let's break down some of these demographics then. Among LGBTQ adults, 26% of women and 20% of transgender men report being parents of children in their household, compared with the 12% of transgender women and 8% of men. So again, hold on. I just want to say this. That's about 28% of a drop-off in manhood. LGBTQ people are less likely to be parenting children in their household than non-LGBTQ people, 18% versus 28%. A higher percentage of Black LGBTQ adults are parents at 23% than white LGBTQ adults, 17%. Marriage and relationship status. About half, 49%, of LGBTQ parents are married to a same-sex or different-sex partner, bisexual, compared with 20% of LGBTQ non-parents and 71% of straight parents. Among white adults, hold on, I didn't write this study now. Remember, Rich Blye did not write this study. Among white adults, almost 60% of LGBTQ parents are married, which is a higher proportion than white LGBTQ non-parents at 22% and less than white straight parents at 78%. Amongst people of color, approximately 37% of the LGBTQ parents are married, which is a higher proportion than the people of color LGBTQ non-parents, 17%, but less than the people of color straight parents at 62%. Family formation, 47% of partner LGBTQ parents are in the same gender or transgender exclusive partnership. 22% of LGBTQ adults thought it was very or extremely likely they would have children in the future. LGBTQ women are 3 times more than likely to feel this way than GBQ men, meaning that they don't know what they're going to have, or they just having fantasies about it because they know they can't have them. Stop playing. This is a thought. It just says thought. Thought it was very or extremely likely that they would have children in their future. Thought. This could be an economic strategy to pool resources and have a more expansive cultural definition of family and or both if LGBTQ households included themselves and with other relatives that are straight by adding more diversity and listening for a more expected parental relationship. That means your situation is going to change, but your ways of parenting is still a parent. The sexuality shouldn't matter. How you self-identify shouldn't matter.
It doesn't.
Yes, it does. That's why they got to keep legislating.
No, I'm saying, no, you're right. It doesn't. It shouldn't matter.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter. But this is why they got to keep legislating it, though, right?
Because they want to protect themselves, bro. Like,
protect themselves from who?
It's like the pronouns when you're doing something.
I'm gonna say this again because I can tell you right now, bro. Like I said, I gave my story about Tommy and Bruce, but I lived in Upper Darby, and I've been in some spots where I knew some gay men would come in. Now, at the time when I was out there, that's my spot. I'm shooting pool.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm doing my thing, blah, blah, blah. I ain't worried about them.
Right.
But then there's a dude, oh man, what's up with these gay bulls? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, yo, what you worried about them for? Oh man, he gay. So what?
So what?
So what?
He might try to say, what?
So what? Did he say anything to you? No.
To you?
Did he say anything to your people? No.
And even if he
go back over there and finish your beer, bro.
And
turn around, man. Y'all go ahead, bro. We ain't on that type time. But see, this is what I'm trying to say to a lot of people out there. I don't know where you grew up, and I don't understand the situations that you went through. I'm sorry about that. But this whole label, this whole blanket labeling of who we see you as, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to tell you, a good majority of us really don't give a damn.
I don't.
I mean, seriously, it is not, I'm going to say this for me. It ain't my business.
None of my business.
It's not. But here's the thing. And you said, well, why are you talking about this? Because I got to deal with it with my grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
I got to have conversations now that I never expected to have, because now I have to safeguard my legacy of my family and the way that we were raised and the way that we should go. I don't want to be yoked up with you. Not in that way. I want to respect you for the human being that you are, right, and leave it at that.
Right.
But I don't want you to legislate our historical inheritance from the face of this earth, ghosting us, specifically as foundational black men, because you're tearing at the fabric. Why? Because now you got to fight for custody. Not only do you have to fight for custody, now your child is going to question you about behaviors that they're seeing because mom or aunt or dad are allowed to do this inside of a home, because legally as adults, you can do this without any type of reservation of explaining to a child who may not be emotionally developed enough to understand the change. Because let's look at it, part of the lesbian part of it, you already had kids. So you're not a virgin, and you're not a virgin either way. You're not a virgin with the kids. You're not a virgin to the situation. Right. Okay? When you leave a man, or that man leaves you, or however it is, I don't know, I don't care. But you introduce your children to a lifestyle. Because at the beginning, you're trying this out, seeing how it goes, seeing if it works. Please don't tell me. I have friends who are absolutely gay, and I watch them do this to their children. I'm a keen observer of behavior.
Is it fair that you do it to your kids?
No, it's not fair. Just like it ain't fair to move some broad into your house, as, you know what I mean, as a dude. It ain't that. No, that ain't fair either. That ain't fair at all. Like I said, I had a daughter. Okay. Now, me and mom broke up. Blah blah blah. This, that, and third. Single. Okay. I got my daughter though. I didn't bring nobody to the house. When she went to go and deal with mom,
you had your fun.
That's when I went and did my thing.
Right.
I didn't introduce my daughter to nobody.
Nobody, bro.
I didn't do that. Because I didn't want her, first of all, I'm trying to develop a relationship with my child as a single father.
Absolutely.
Okay? She just came out of a situation with her mother. Okay? So she has a parent. And those precocious teenage years, you know how little girls get down. Yes. You know what I mean? If you ain't paying them attention, they're going to go find that attention.
They out.
Okay? And it's always going to be from somebody that's more despicable than you ever were.
Right.
You know how that goes, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, man. Listen. Whoo. I got to woo-saw sometimes, bro.
You do.
I got to woo-saw sometimes. But this is the dynamic that happens. So for me, and when I did meet that chick, blah, 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 that I introduced her to, it was a family type setting. I said, hey, we about to have some company over, blah, blah, blah. Dad's going to cook something. I'm about to introduce you to, my friend.
Right.
Okay? They came over. They got to talking, I stepped out of the room real quick, what I mean, blah, blah, blah. Gave him a couple minutes. All right, took her home. She ain't spend the night.
Right.
She ain't come back over for months. Right. For months, bro. Right. For months. I wanted to make sure that my daughter was adjusted to this person that I was interested in. Right. And when I knew that she was adjusted to this person,
then we can move forward.
Yeah, we can move forward.
All right, we can go out.
I've always
go out to the movies.
Listen, I've always told anybody that I date, I'm a father first. Ain't nothing gonna change that. Ain't nothing gonna change that. Your opinion, your sex, nothing. Ain't nothing gonna change that. Ain't nothing gonna change that.
I can get it for myself, by myself.
Listen,
you feel me? Like, it's not even like I've realized being a father. I have 8 children that I was loving from abandonment though. So I never wanted anyone to leave me. You feel me? I just but I never had a problem with leaving. You know, when I said,
Right.
all right, that's it. It's a wrap. But now that I have my daughter and she's staying with me and we're in our own space, it's like, yeah, I don't need it. I really don't need to chase or ask or want anyone to come over here with me because I'm good.
Yeah.
And I had to realize that, right? And it's not just about sex. Yes, do I need it? Absolutely. It would be nice to have it, right? But if I don't have it, I have other things I can do. Right?
I think that a lot of times, like I said, I was always comfortable in my own skin. You know, I could be in a group of people and be alone at the same time.
Boy.
Oh, I can, and I've done this. I can literally disappear from a crowd. I can make myself small in any crowded room. Now you see me, now you don't. But getting back to this and breaking down statistically from the family unit of this quote unquote sexual infiltration, how do you think it affects the mental health of certain children from these groups? I've had extensive conversations with kids who have been with same-sex parents, and a lot of them have grown up with resentment. A lot of them have tried to emulate some of the relationships, and it has not turned out great for them. Same way that we expect from straight, boys and girls, brokenhearted rejection, used, da-da-da-da-da-da. But the suicide rate is higher.
It's much higher.
But the suicide rate is higher.
Much higher.
And that's concerning for me. That's concerning for me. That's the concern. The suicide rate is high.
Because you can't figure out where you belong. And this is what you see.
Right.
But you know you really don't want it.
Right.
And you want something else.
Right. Or it hasn't been explained properly, or it's been oversaturated with this is who you have to be, or the peer pressure that comes from it. I say this too because while we are concentrating on our children's sexuality or sexual identity, they're failing math and English. Failing math and English. But I'm watching middle school children, girls, hugged up, booed up, but can't spell. And we're allowing this type of social activity, because that's what it is, because it's outside. It's on the way to school. Mom, Dad, don't say my kid, because you'd be surprised who I get on videotape. You might see your kid all hugged up front crib. And I say this because, again, we still got this guy from Upper Darby who's writing resolutions for ordinances, proud of it, but he's given, and he said he wrote this very clearly, religious exemption to certain communities.
Huh?
Oh yeah. See, this is what I love about it. So if it's always about protection, and if it's about a unilateral protection, for a resolution that will become an ordinance at the county level, why did he write a religious exemption for this ordinance? By the way, which is going to be unconstitutional, and it's going to be challenged. And even when it does get challenged, they still going to data collect you, because that's all it is. They're trying to put in a data collection to recognize people and identify them for quote unquote hate speech, for difference of speech, for difference of opinion, for lack of diversity. So can I sue people for not wanting to join my Black American foundational Black American causes? Can I be offended when I talk about being a foundational Black American and people laugh at me when I say I'm a foundational Black American, and now that I've proven my own genealogy, that I've proven my ancestry, that I've proven
you don't take it far enough. Huh? Yeah, we can do it. If they doing it, why can't we do it? They're doing it off a choice. They're doing it off a choice.
Listen, you're getting locked up. You're getting locked up. I'm waiting for them to elect this boy in New York so they can see how it is over in Britain. Because, again, these folks that's sitting up here caping for this and want to put these protections in, you putting these protections in for yourself to protect you from the people that actually love you and that created you against folks that are going to kill you the first chance they get. The first chance they get. Y'all keep caping for these people and supporting, this Zionism and this Palestinian and all this other type of stuff. These people are going to kill you without reservation, according to how they believe and what they believe in. They already started in Colorado where they're telling shop owners, this ain't haram. We're going to shut you down. They telling businesses now in Colorado what they going to do. You got people that are in position to move you out on the basis of your color who don't give a damn about your sexuality. So when it all comes down to it, and it will, maybe not in my lifetime, but maybe in your children's lifetime, maybe in your lifetime, young people, there is going to come a time where what I'm saying right now as a seer is going to happen to you. Because you are in denial of your ancestry. Your ancestry is connected to your heritage, not your sexuality. Your blessing is connected to your heritage. Did you know that they had to change up the treaty with the Indians and the money and everything like that and open it up to the Black Freedmen Society?
Yeah, when they sent everybody to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So while we around here worrying about what type of sex people are, there's been a whole new revenue stream opened up for Black people to check and see if you come from the Freedmen Society so you can go stake your claim and unite, because the earth is giving up its dead as has been prophesied, and you're not paying attention. You think I'm up here screaming? No, I'm warning you, showing you, telling you, and then I'm going to get off of it, and I'm going to let you decide on what you are going to do. But as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. And if my children are listening, it's because I said so. And if my grandchildren are listening, it's because I said so. Because the prayers of protection that were granted on me from my grandmother and my spiritual godmothers extended to me and my children and my children's children. So when I pray and I protect me, my children, and my children's children. And then when my children pray, you pray again for that double, triple, quadruple protection, and that blessing stays in your bloodline. And this is the longevity of us as a people, our spirituality connected to the physical presence of this land and the inheritance historically of what we did in this country.
Well, spirituality started way before we broke.
This is why I don't do religion.
Way before the books.
Yeah, this is why I don't do religion, bro.
I don't do religion. I do religion. I am
right.
Spiritual. I am Muslim, but I'm just not.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I was raised on the gospel, but I'm also a Buddhist.
Ain't no wrong with that.
Yeah, I'm also a Buddhist. I'm a practitioner of Nichiren Daishonin's Buddhism. I'm dead serious. I had to go through and read the text and the sects and everything like that. I had to go in front of a priest and say my prayers, and it's all in Mandarin.
Right. Sometimes
it is all in Mandarin.
I was raised in every religion, from Catholicism to African Methodist Episcopal to Jewish to I took my Shahada in 1996 or 95, one of those. But I realized that religion again is a personal journey. Mm-hmm. Your sexual preference is a personal journey, right? All of these are personal journeys that we tie up into us being black. When the only thing about us being black is us being black. Are you black? Yeah, all right, we got to fight, right? We're under the same thumb from it's been shown.
Right.
Shannon Sharp was doing everything that he was doing. Mm-hmm. So messing with the white girl. Mm-hmm. Now where he at?
That's what happened.
They put you right back into your spot.
They put you right back into your spot.
So no matter how much money we make, no matter how rich we are, Jonathan Majors was being chased by the white girl. Mm-hmm. What they do? Took him off of Marvel. You feel? They don't have a problem putting you back in your spot. So if they put you back in this spot, stay in this spot. Let's strengthen this spot. Mm-hmm. Let's strengthen this together so we can create our own stuff so we ain't got to worry about them. And that's what they're scared of. Mm-hmm. That's what they're scared of. So now they're trying to let everybody go out here and create other things to draw us off of the real fight. And who we should be, and who we should love, and who we should work for, and who we should care about.
This is all the more reason why we need to have individual places of study, just like the Black Panther Party did back in the day, because they taught the history, they taught they taught the social economics of ourselves. Why do we? And I keep saying this very gently. I get it. People want to come in this town. People want to come to Chester. They want to help. They
want to take.
No, they don't. I said this. I don't think it got aired with Mayor Roots, but I said it right in front of him. Like I've said to State Rep Kazim, Chester has enough here. Has enough. When I say enough here, that if you help them with a business plan, if you looked at their business model, if the city gave consulting to these businesses, okay, instead of taking it to the outside investors. If you go up there and fix Avenue with a state street once and for all, and I mean, don't be cheap with it, actually put some asphalt down there and bring it up to the curb so you're not jumping off of a parachute. What, bro, I shop up there. Why they think I come to Chester and just F around?
Just to do the show?
Just to do the
Listen.
I'm all around Chester, babe.
Listen, I said it so many times.
Man, come on.
As a matter of fact, I was thinking about doing an after party after the Miss Unplugged Award show, and that's a new space up there. I got to go there and check that joint out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna go right down the street.
So I mean, I said this right in front of him, and I guess that was his chief executive officer that was standing next to him or whatever when he was doing his interview about the falling homicide rate for the summer, and I got an opportunity to talk to Steph and say what I wanted to say. And like I said, I speak very plainly. Like I told him, I speak very plainly.
Right.
Chester has enough. Right. If you, Mayor Stephon Roots, and this is an impassionate plea, I'm trying to tell you, bro. I'm trying to tell you. You could be the mayor of guidance. You really could. You could be the mayor of guidance. I know that you need outside investors for certain parts of the infrastructure. There's no debating any of that. But I think that the strongest point of your administration is exactly what you did over the summer, was that you strengthened these nonprofits, you strengthened the community, you didn't red light them, you green lighted them. Whether you actively supported them, you didn't stop, you didn't stand in their way. Right. You understand? Right. And this is the first time in the history of me dealing with Chester that I actually saw a mayor that absolutely did the right thing at the right time. The right thing at the right time. I can't find no fault in what he did. I really can't. Right. People can pick the pros and cons of this. People can pick this, that, da. All I know is that children were safe. Yes. Parents got to parent. Yes. Okay. People got to, adults got to be adults.
Right.
Okay. All of the groups that came together, that work together or separately, no matter how you did it, congrats to each and every one of you.
Come on, man.
To every one of you. Because everything that you did, no matter what your platform was based upon community. Right. It was taking care of those kids. Right. It was getting people resources. Right. You took care of the elderly. Yes. You showed love. Mm-hmm. How can nobody fault you?
So nobody can.
Nobody can fault.
And if they do, it's not a fault of yours. It's a fault of someone else's. It's a fault of theirs.
So that's from the first city, then the blackest city, in one of the blackest city in Pennsylvania. So I want to say this: if that can be done during the summer, what is the problem with everybody coming to the table right now in the winter or before January and actively putting your hat in the ring for one big giant, and I don't mean the homecoming. I know about Chester homecoming. I know about Chester homecoming. No disrespect to that either, but I got my opinions about that too. I do. Man, listen. I do.
Running back. What are we getting a running back for? Anyway.
They got to back up Barkley, man.
We got Shipley. What's wrong with Shipley?
Got to back him up too.
Oh.
Somebody banged up, man. Somebody banged up.
Okay.
Somebody's banged up. That's how that works. Somebody's banged up. You gotta have that third in rotation out there so you can send somebody out in the flat. He who cares nothing about his ancestors will rarely achieve anything worthy of being remembered by his descendants. So I really need to break that down?
Say it again.
He who cares nothing about his ancestors will rarely achieve anything worthy of being remembered by his descendants. When you skip the struggle and forget who you are, you lose more than a sense of identity. You lose the blessing that was sent to you with your identity, with your heritage, with your inheritance. When you care nothing about what your ancestors provided you for in your platform, you will rarely achieve anything worthy being remembered by your own children and or grandchildren. This is why a lot of men and some women are obscure to the generations underneath us. They never knew their grandfather. When someone says, I never knew my grandfather was, I knew that he was the man upstairs in the room, blah, 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 but you didn't know what he did for a living? You don't know how he put your grandmother in that house? You don't know that he used to work over at the factories over here and that he was a big, strong, strapping lad that had to do this and had to do that and had to do that? Because we don't sit our children down and make them listen to the own stories of their history. So we're trying to create new generations and it's going to be this type of high-powered family. But I'm going to say it like this. Your children long for the identity of who they are based upon the fact that they don't know where they come from because you are not providing it for them. You expect others to give you that sense of security about your identity when you're not self-identifiable to your own family. Your sexuality, folks, does not define you in the eyes of this black man and a lot of other people. We could care less. But when you start legislating that gender and that gender identity, when you start legislating saying that you're going to wrap it up in a cocoon and that you're going to help and this is protection, blah, 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 I want to pose this one question to the LGBTQ community. Name me one mandate in the past 5 years that supported foundational black American males. And don't say Black Lives Matter. And don't say Black Lives Matter. Don't say Black Lives Matter. Because Black Lives Matter did not support foundational black American males because we still poured into prison and we're still getting shot. I lost 2 kids under Black Lives Matter. Okay? I did. Because I told them, I used to have my conversations with my sons before they were murdered. And I told them, you're still black in America. I want you to understand that even though you see this going on, that there are still people at the controls, and at any given time, they're going to flip this right back. You're going to see this disappear in 4 years. And I said that to him. I said, this ain't going to last forever. This is going to go away with COVID. And it did. I'm not saying it's not away. There's still Black Lives Matter this and Black Lives Matter that. But you don't hear it being chanted in the street. You don't see people wearing the T-shirt. You don't see people practicing that. You got the gangs of Chicago openly threatening a sitting president, talking about, come on up here, we got these switches for you, da 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 da. Y'all proud of the fact that y'all got over 100,000 gangs killing each other? Y'all proud of that?
Mm-hmm.
And for anybody that's supporting violence because you don't like somebody, please do yourself a favor, take some deep reflection and think about what you're saying, because you've never had to console a crying mother and you've never had to hold a folded flag. Because you don't know what murder is. You don't know what murder does. You have no idea how it rips the soul or the heart. You have no idea of watching your best friend die, somebody who served this country to the fullest of his life and then came home and served his country some more and was still ridiculed for doing that. Men like Chef Lamont. What's up, Chef Lamont?
Nope.
United States Navy, who I speak to almost on a daily basis, who has love for his community, but asked the question, why don't y'all love me back? And I told him, Lamont, I got love for you. CMPradio.net got love for you. Absolutely. There's several other people over there that's got love for you. And if people ain't got love for you, Chef, F them. We got you. Don't worry about it. Chef, I can say, and I'm going to say this wholeheartedly. There are so many people out here that love me more than people out here that hate me. I have people that come up to me and they say, hey, Rich, they say real quiet, hey, I watch you, I follow you. I'm like, what you whispering for? Shout that shit out. Let people know where you following me at, bro. Let them know why you following me. I have two guys that I see every day at the Wawa up on Westchester Pike. And I think they literally wait to see me because, I hit that spot almost, like a religion. And they hugged me today. It's like, man, you was right. And I always ask, right about what? Oh, the taxes, what they doing, how they doing it. Man, you called it. You said they was going to do this. I say, man, I'm sorry. I'm a keen observer. I don't watch TV. I ain't in the bars. I'm not into Madden. I'm not into video games. I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm into watching for the enemy as it comes against my black people. I'm into gathering the information and the statistics and giving it to my black people. I want to make sure that we're working with all of our communities, our Jewish communities, our Italian communities, all of our communities, our Irish communities, our Vietnamese communities. I want to make sure that we represent the best of ourselves like they represent the best of themselves towards us. That's what's on my team, bro. I don't have any bums that's going to come over here and say any no racial nonsense out of their mouth. I don't have any bums on my team that's going to come over here and not understand what the mission is before they get here. They already know what the mission is. Those are the type of people that are on my team, and I'm on their team for the same thing. If anybody calls me up and says, Rich, we got this going on and I need when and where are my two words. When and where. All right, I got it. Everybody knows when I say I got you, that is my word. I've never said somebody, I got you, and then didn't get them. Okay? I've never said that. It's never happened. It's never happened. If I tell somebody I got you, it's because I believe in it. I believe in it. If I tell somebody that, hey, I'm here for you, it's because I believe in it. Yes, I'm not really doing you a favor. I'm doing something that I passionately love and care about and want to do for myself. I'm actually getting something out of this. You may think I'm doing you a favor. No, I'm actually doing myself a favor. I'm making sure that I'm worth the value that you're looking for. I make sure that you get a value out of what you ask me for, so that way it's always the best. That's the way that I look at it when I do something for somebody else. It's always supposed to be my best. I'm not coming here to half-ass it, sit up here for 2 hours and, pee, just show off just show this off. No, I actually, literally, it takes me like about 3 or 4 or 5 days to really think of topics now. Because I don't write, folks, I write no speeches. I write nothing. I kid you not. All of this comes straight off the dome.
Right.
It really does. I'll find something, I'll research it, I'll cross-reference it. I make sure that it's relevant, that it's time relevant, because a lot of times people will go back 3, 4, 5 years and get some study, blah, blah, blah. So before I started talking about this, I wanted to make sure that it had a fixed date point in time that's relevant. So a year. I know they probably published another study a year later. Okay. But the relevancy of what UCLA's Law Institute, the Williams Institute, with this study begs the question, is there a sexual infiltration from the LGBT community to keep the blessings and the historical inheritance of young black men from happening? Because the one thing that I'm looking for this community, that I'm asking for to have a conversation about, is why don't you talk about down low men raping young black boys in prison? Here comes the hammer. This is the hammer part. This is the hammer part. This is the hammer part. I want to know why that whenever I talk about the sexualization of young black boys who have to go to institutions, who went in there straight and came out traumatized. And we know why. It's not highly reported, and we know why. But the stigma of young black boys being sexually molested in prison isn't talked about with the LGBTQ community. But when these men get out of prison, they can assume and assert their lives into your community with the same protections. See what I mean? Where's the protections for the kids that they raped? Where's the accountability from the LGBTQ community and not addressing what happens when you have men who are on the spectrum in prison raping these boys who are part of the community, raping these boys? It don't matter the color, they raping these boys. I've had to try to have that conversation with many people from the LGBTQ community, and nobody will touch it. But you'll talk about how we're deadbeat fathers, and you'll talk about how we beat women, and you'll talk about how we don't love our daughters, and how we don't love women, and we're disrespectful to women, and all these topics that I've heard everything go on. But then when we get over here and say, all right, let's have a group topic real quick, and let's discuss something in your community that happens that has never been addressed. But we know that we got young black boys that have been sexually molested in prison. And then when these men get out from prison from serving their sentences, they are free to be on the LGBTQ spectrum and, hold on, are revered, the booty warrior. Bull practically had his own podcast, his own show. Interviewed. People paying him money. People paid him money to tell his story, bro. Boondocks made a whole skit out of it.
I mean, it was,
But hold on, bro.
It was funny.
Yeah, it's comedy.
Being someone that went to jail and spent 18 months upstate and heard men cry and saw other men take advantage of
weaker men,
weaker people, and people that were in need of something. It's a prison thing.
No, it's not.
It's a prison thing.
Bro, it's not.
Let me explain. Most of the things that we have out here in our community, in the black community, come from prison. Most of the beliefs that the young men adopt.
Okay.
Like being geo, like not networking with people, like being closed off, right? Those are the things that you learn when you go upstate to protect yourself, not to reach out to people that aren't from where you're from because they don't understand what you understand and different things like that. So a lot of that thinking comes back out here into the community. When you go to prison and someone attacks you, like either physically or mentally, it breaks you a little bit, right? I didn't feel any of that. Right. I didn't get attacked. I didn't get mentally broken. I was more concerned with how broken I was when I was out on the street than how broken I was being locked up, right? It was a cleaning space for me. Right. I use it as such, but because I had love, because I had people that supported me and sent me letters and constantly talked to me and sent me books and different things like that, I didn't have to be too dug in to the prison, right?
And that hold on, I'll stop there. That's what you have to do. You have to make sure there's money on the books. You have to make sure that there's books sent. You have to make sure there's letters sent so that those boys don't get put in that situation. Because the moment that you don't keep that connection with your child that is in prison for whatever reason,
they lose connection. They gravitate towards
they gravitate towards what they need and what they need to get. And unfortunately, sometimes
you only got your ass to sell.
Yeah.
literally.
You got your ass in your mouth.
That's it. And that was something that I wasn't capable of giving up. Right. I saw people leave, go home, and come right back 6 months later because their girlfriend or their boyfriend was there, right? They needed that connection. It wasn't out on the street for them, right? So they had to come back to jail, and it's like, huh? How you get freedom? Freedom, but you come back. And I said it has a lot to do with how the house was, right? Before they came to jail, like what their survival method was on the street. You feel me? Because some people, I know it sounds crazy, live better in prison than they do on the street.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that get arrested before the wintertime comes. Right. You know what I mean?
I need to be up there.
Yeah, they'll do something, do a plea bargain. Yeah. And, you know,
I mean, you're talking about 3 meals. You feel me? Yeah, you're talking about getting up in the morning, going, and this is something that you can't do on the street. Like you don't want to apply yourself to go fill out an application. You want to accept a job. 19 cents an hour. What kind of job is that? It's not a job. So when they first had me working, I was working in the kitchen. I was giving away stuff. They fired me. Yeah. Oh no, you gotta go. You gotta go to the board and sit down with them or whatever. I don't. My plan was to get help so I can battle being addicted to the drugs I was addicted to. Right. So I can understand how to be a better father. Right. That's what my plan was up there. Right. To learn how to do these things. Right. But I also witnessed people being taken advantage of. You feel me? People locking in the cells, people coming out. You feel me? Not the same. Like, bro, you okay? Like hearing stories about old heads and lifers putting Snickers bars on people's beds and telling people to come to their cell and shutting the door and putting the jam in the drain and then take you down. Like, nigga, yeah, I'm good, bro. Like, and I guess I was a bigger dude. You feel me? Like at that time, so it wasn't like.
But see, again, it still was accepted because you accept these people into your construct. Okay,
it's their construct.
Yes, they hold on. The way that I was told, it's our community.
Upstate, in jail, or home.
Upstate.
It's whose community?
I mean, I'm sorry. When I'm talking about when these people leave jail. Right. And they come home. Right. Okay. So now you can adapt in both worlds because, like I said, there's people that I've known that came home and they lived that alternative lifestyle. That's who they were before they went in jail. Right. Okay. That's who they were before they went in jail.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. And they did whatever meticulous shit that they did or whatever.
For those people that were comfortable with being who they were when they was on the street, it's different. For the people that are uncomfortable being that way, they come home and, you feel me? They get the gay bash and they get to talking about things, you feel me, and acting crazy. So, you know, it was never a problem for me. I grew up. My mom's friend's son was gay. You feel me? Like, and I was just watching, like, why you acting like that? And my dad was still alive at the time. My dad said, no. Right. That's not what I want around my son. He's cool. Father never kicked him out or anything. He would come through and decorate the house for Christmas. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, and do a hell of a job. Right. But my dad, like,
but he didn't want that. He didn't want those direct connections.
Right. To me. Yeah. Or to anyone that played with me, that was around me. You feel me? Like, he was like, come on, we out. Right. You feel me? Like, take a ride. We go somewhere. You feel me? Your mom in the house doing this. That's cool. Yeah, we're gonna go do something else. We're gonna go to a boxing gym. We're gonna go to.
We're gonna do something else because again, it's the parent's responsibility. It's the parent's responsibility to teach the way that you should go. And if your parent chooses that this is the way you should go,
you're gonna go that way.
You're gonna go that way. Now, I understand there is a 5 to about 9% chance that there are people who are absolutely born gay. Yes. My son's one of them. My son did not listen. My listen.
You saw him when he came out. You said he was gay.
No, I watched him when he grew up. I watched the way he played. Ever since he was a child. My grandmother said it too. She said it to me. She said,
"Oh, you got some sugar."
My grandmother said. She said it. She said, "Well, at least you ain't got to worry about that one giving you any children." And listen, you know when old people got the eye?
They got the eye.
They got the eye. My grandmother called it, and I kid you not, my son was like about maybe 6, 7. But I never discouraged. I never encouraged or discouraged. Right. Okay?
I love you.
That's my boy.
It was hard for me. When my son was first born, I said if my son came out and he was gay, I would disown him, right? And that was a lot of the pain in me. You feel me?
The phobia in this?
Not the phobia in this, but just the pain. Like because that was the only son I had. You feel me? So it was like, damn, no.
I can tell you when my son came out to me, right. Like I said, I already knew it. Right. I already knew it. I already knew it. I wasn't mad about it because, again, my experiences of dealing with gay people gave me an understanding of it. Right. Okay, and he didn't act like a sissy. Okay, he wasn't. You know, and he's not. You know what I'm saying? But you could tell the way that he played, he was different, and you know, there's certain things that he did, and you know, certain way that he walked.
So I watched my cousin get the man beat out of him. You just the ghost just left, right? I said, oh.
I mean, like, I knew this, and I knew this, but the day that my son came out to me he was more afraid of telling me. Like he said that he said he was afraid to tell me. He was afraid, how I was going to react.
How would I react? You're my son. Like, why would you think I would? What would I beat you up? All right, son, that's what you choose. Hey, man, that's what you choose. Be careful. Mind your P's and Q's.
I think a lot of people need to understand that we also had Eddie Murphy. Okay. And a lot of people don't get it. If you don't understand why I reference Eddie Murphy, is Eddie Murphy was one of the first comedians to say, hey, listen, you know what I mean? I'm out here running ball with my friend, blah, blah, blah. Hey, I'm going to go over and see this girl. And he says, oh, I'm going to go suck this dick. All right, you have a good time with that.
Have a good time.
Okay? It was perfect. It was perfectly acceptable. We had the time of androgynous people. This is semi-trans people. We had that time. Like, this is during our time. When did all of this hate for your creators start? Because the legislation and the way that they bill us, the way that they say cisgender and everything like that, what are you talking about? We're your creators. We're your creators. You would not be alive without a mother or a father.
Working together.
Okay, working together. Really, literally. Literally, you would not have an existence. You wouldn't have went to that college that you went to because you damn sure ain't pay for it. Okay? How dare you? How dare you have this level of arrogance about why we need to question your political movements and your motives? Why? Who are you to tell us, who are the highest percentage of people, who hold the highest percentage of jobs, that we can't live freely unless we totally respect and bow down to your ideology? Y'all better look at what's going over in Ireland. Y'all better look what's going over in Great Britain. Y'all better look at what's going on over in Spain. You have groups of people who want you to change your life for their own selfish needs and purposes. They are not inclusive with everything. And like I said, I'm not talking about all, but the ones that are writing the laws are still white men. Right, Kyle McIntyre? You're still a white man. And you have proven that to me. This has nothing to do about you being gay, bro. You have proven to me and to foundational Black Americans everywhere that your only agenda is to move your group into places and usurp our historical inheritance to this country and to the laws that were set up to protect us all, not just a group of people. And I know you took down the text off of Paul Ann Sabatino's page, but screenshots are forever. And I got what I got to ensure the fact that when I talk to my foundational Black Americans, I want them to understand that you're doing this from a place where the only thing that you care, and you said this 3 times in one paragraph, I relate to the LGBTQ community. I work for the LGBTQ community, and I'm going to endeavor to do whatever I can to safeguard the LGBTQ community. Nowhere in there was anything about us being together like I asked you. Are we together, Kyle? From the moment that I asked you. From the moment that I asked you, from the time that I met you, from the Ridley protests to everything that we've ever done together on this social justice campaign together. And you turned right around and you used the weapon that I knew that you would use. And I told you the day would come, sir, and you are running as an elected candidate, that you would use this as a platform and a weapon, and I would be the person to talk about you and talk about it and explain it from a context for my people to understand something. They're using your poverty level and your lack of understanding and your emotion against the common good of us as foundational Black Americans. We need to pool our resources together in our community and stop looking at the sexualization of it and work together to strengthen our positions so that way we can live in the harmony that they are choosing to live without us with. Any other questions? Bro, listen, I just got to call it the way I see it. You know what I mean? I said I was going to lead into it with facts. I said I was going to speak to it from a certain position. And I said I was going to explain why this has some relevance and as far as the politics and the separation that he's causing with this. And he has a name. His name is, Kyle McIntyre. And he's running for, council at large in Upper Darby. And he wants his community to know that he is all for his community and all for one for his community. And that's it.
Kyle McIntyre. Oh,
yeah, that's the boy the boy that got me. Hold on. You talk about togetherness. That's the same boy that had the award ceremony honoring all of the black the black leaders of the black community leaders of Delco. Mm-hmm. Where you were there, mm-hmm. and Mr. Mink was there, mm-hmm. and Mr. Corey Long was there. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be a 4th person on the bill. Mm-hmm. But I got kicked off, Kyle. Remember when you called me, you and Diamond, because you had to tell me that you couldn't utilize me to honor me as a black community leader because you would have your funding cut, but you got your $100,000 for your murals to ensure that this voice did not speak at that event. They made sure, made sure of it, and he made a choice.
I think him and Diamond went through something too, right? Because she's not on this.
They still listen, bro. Let me tell you something about it. And when you go on the page, you're gonna see them all together, all of them. Monica Taylor, Mayor of Upper Darby, Mr. Richard Womack. You're gonna see them all together. They all for that white man. They all for that white man. They all for him.
I mean, he's young, so you can't really kill the youth. You feel me? Because if you kill the youth, then you're killing.
There's no killing the youth, bro.
I'm just saying, you gotta support. He's taking advantage of an opportunity.
No, he's taking advantage of our kids because our kids don't know nothing about him, and they just going to vote on the fact that he's young and he's got all these list of credentials behind him. But those are all photo op credentials. Okay, those are all things where you just appeared. Okay, I'm speaking from experience. Like I told this young man, you got to get more involved in the community. You got to do this. You got to do that. It wasn't until just recent that, clothing drives. It wasn't just recent until food drives. This man ain't spend the night next to no homeless person. He don't know what it's like to be homeless. He know how to spoon some food into somebody's dish. That's about it. Anybody can do that. Anybody can go and give a speech somewhere. If they're not blocking you from speaking, from blocking your freedom of speech. Here's a man that sat up here and said, I'm Mr. Black Lives Matter of Upper Darby Township, laid down in the street next to this bull, marched with this bull, contributed to his organization, the whole nine, bro. Like, me, support is support. I said, do me a favor. Don't use this platform to try to sit up here and game my people with votes. Don't do it, because I told you I'm going to come for you. And I mean that. You don't have the arbitrary right to talk about your platform as if you want to talk to my people and game them up, and I know who you are. See, I'm not talking about this young man because he has anything to offer me. He has nothing to offer me. But in the streets of Upper Darby, that already is not serviced in the 6th, that's already not serviced in the 7th, there's a lot of black families that live there that are going to go and vote straight because they're going to go top of the ticket instead of researching who their people are. And they're going to go top of the ticket. I voted, put the sticker on, and keep it moving. You're going to vote the first 2 devils in. You're going to vote the first 2 devils in because you won't look at the bottom of the ticket or the middle of the ticket and say, who is this person? Who's this independent person that's on the ballot? The independent person that's on the ballot. Instead of a guy that's running an LGBTQ agenda. And he is. And he's been doing so with our black children ever since I met him. I know this man personally. I've marched with him. I've laid down in the street when he protested with him. I've donated to his organization. I have.
How you do Black Lives Matter and you ain't black?
That's what I said. That's what I said. See, I'm gonna tell you something about my people. This is what I don't like about y'all. I'm gonna get on my people for a second. Y'all lined up behind all of these people that don't even give a damn about you, and now look what they doing. They done cut off and run. And here we are, the real black lives, the real black men that love you, and y'all, we still can't get no love from you. Why? Why? We not light enough? That's what I want to know.
Sometimes we look too much like the people we're trying to help.
No, I think the people that we're trying to help don't really want the help, bro.
They
don't. No, they don't.
We look too much like them. Who are you to help me? Is the problem that we're still ever roots, bro. You go back to it was the same thing. Yeah. Who are you to help me?
Yeah, I know.
Right? So it's
I know.
It's what we deal with on a daily basis, and it will stay that way.
But once again, so now that our attitude has slightly changed to the point where we're not receiving the love that we expected from you. So now when we're still showing love, but we're not showing that same type of energy, and you're asking us what's wrong.
I'm burnt out. That's it. I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out. I'm tired.
Yeah. And that's what happened to me the year that I had to take off before I came back to the segment. I was burnt, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I got smacked around. I got smacked around by death. I got smacked around by county council. I got smacked around by the purchasing agent. I got smacked around by the fired DEI officer. I got smacked around by the former mayor. I got smacked around by the current mayor. I got smacked around by the police superintendent. I got smacked around by a whole bunch of people, bro, in the space of 2.5 years. But guess who's back?
I appreciate you for being able to get up. I appreciate you.
But guess who's back?
For remaining steadfast on your mission, on your journey.
Hell yeah, bro.
You feel me? And not using all those things to offset you or to throw you off, man. You're here for the people. You're uplifting the people. You're here for the veterans. You're speaking for the people that don't really get the chance to speak for themselves and really shouldn't have to speak for themselves. So every time I see you, I'm more. You give me energy, bro. So thank you.
Oh, listen, that's all it's for. If I can do anything for my people, and bring some truth to the light, like I said, I'm about living righteous. I know that I've fallen short. I'm not perfect, folks. I am a flawed individual.
Everybody.
I am not an expert. I am not the expert. I am not a professor. I'm not none of those things. I am a very self-taught individual who believes in the truth. I'm a self-taught individual that believes in the knowledge. And once I have the truth and the knowledge on my side, I seek the wisdom. And all I seek to do is impart wisdom to you that you can utilize for yourself.
Let's go.
Okay, for yourself. I'm not telling you what to do. But sometimes when I speak from my experience, and my experience is valid, I don't harm people. Part of my therapy is that people have harmed me. But what they're about to find out is that the Empire Strikes Black. And I'm back. See you on the flip side.